Good morning, friends. I am Dr. Yogesh Sarode of Jivan Vikas Mahavidyalaya Devgram. I welcome you all in this session. Today we will see some important issues. I will focus on some points also in the lesson A Letter by Hazlitt to His Son by William Hazlitt. Earlier we have seen the introduction of the lesson, theme of the lesson, introductory part of the author, and analysis of the lesson also. So here we'll focus few important aspects. So first one is why Hazlitt wishes to share some advice with his son. See, on his return from school, Hazlitt's son complains about his fellow students. He is not having good opinion of them. At this, Hazlitt advises his son to adjust himself to the world which is different from his home. He says he is not a king's son, so he has to settle his differences with others in a friendly manner. This letter was written in the hope that his son would not form any prejudices about others. He would rather develop into an all round gentleman. Hazlitt writes that he is not keeping well. He thinks that he might not live long, but his advice would be of help to his son. His son would remember him for the rest of his life too. Hazlitt had bad experiences in his lifetime. He does not want his son to repeat the same mistakes that he committed. He wants his son to benefit from his experience and to change his behavior. So, this was the related answer to this. Now, second point which I think is important is what does Hazlitt suggest his son to disarm any hostility others might feel towards him? We know on his return from school, his son's complaints starts telling to his father about few students. He is having disagreeable opinion of them, and hence Hazlitt write this letter to his son, giving him advice to change his behavior. In the letter, Hazlitt advises to his son to accept things in life and have a positive outlook. Hazlitt's sons went to a new school. He did not take notice of other students. He considered them as strangers and kept away from them. They knew nothing about him. They also didn't talk too much with him. Hazlitt advises his son to face the situation, that we should not form opinions about people when we do not know anything about them. They would become our enemies without reason. We should not behave badly towards others till they have done anything wrong to us. We should put our efforts to avoid the faults of others, and we should not let them affect us. This is why other people will not have enmity towards us. Slowly, they will accept us and become friends. So this is the advice which Hazlitt gives to his son. Then, according to Hazlitt, what is the reason boys are sent to school? Here, Hazlitt advises his son to accept things in life and have a positive outlook, and gives advice to change his behavior. Hazlitt's son complains that the other boys laughed at him. They didn't take care about him and treated him badly. Hazlitt tells his son that it is their first entry into this big world. They go away from their family and the comforts of the house. The boys also face the world with all kinds of hardships. This prepares them for their future life. Life can be full of challenges, and this is the reason that they are sent to school. The young boys would get used to the trials and challenges of life, and we cannot expect people to behave nicely with us. They are not our family members. So, this is the answer Hazlitt gives in his letter on this point. Then, next point I think important is what are Hazlitt's thoughts on self importance? He says, it is not possible for Hazlitt's son to always have his father's support. He should not expect the others to show the same concern towards him as his father had shown. He should learn the lesson that there are other people in the world besides him. And then Hazlitt advises his son to respect other people. In school, he is among the boys who are either equal or bigger or even stronger than him. These boys have other things which are more important than Hazlitt's son. This makes him feel repulse or as if injustice has been done to him. His son should not be a victim of self importance. Other boys would laugh at him. He should practice equality. We are all one among the rest, and no one is more important or less important. So it would be wrong to put oneself at the center. In our homes, we can behave as we please, but in the outside world, we will find competitors. We should settle our differences and become friends. We should reconcile to our situation. So, this was his suggestion on this point. Now, see some of the complaints Hazlitt's son had after attending a new school. So, he gives a list of complaints. He put these complaints to Hazlitt, and then on these complaints, Hazlitt think that I should write a letter to son. This letter will not only give suggestion to the present situation, but because I will not be with my son forever, in future whenever he will be in need or in crisis, this letter will act as a guidelines how to live life without troubles. So he writes a letter. So he finds that the fellow students are stupid and disagreeable. This is what is the opinion of his son. He finds that some of the boys are not properly dressed. So he does not like them. He doesn't know anything about them as they do not share anything with him. The boy used to laugh at him. He compares them with his family and finds the fellow students uncaring. They even do not give him importance. He feels unloved and lonely. Hazlitt's son didn't take notice of other students. He considered them as strangers and kept away from them. They knew nothing about him. They also didn't talk to him. Thus, Hazlitt's son's complaints about behavior, dressing of his fellow students, and how how he feels uncomfortable in the presence. This is what about the complaints which his son shares with his father. Then we'll focus on Hazlitt's attitude towards prejudices and preconceived judgments. with his fellow students. Here, Hazlitt says to his son about complaints about his fellow students. As the schoolmates are strangers to him, Hazlitt's son doesn't take their notice. But even these schoolmates know little about Hazlitt's son. This can be a reason for their remaining aloof from each other. He says, we should not form prejudice against anyone if we do not know anything about them. If we do this, half of the world will turn our enemy. So, Hazlitt's son complains about the dress of some of boys. Hazlitt advises him not to despise anyone for something that one cannot control. We should never despise anyone for their poverty. We should not judge anyone from the way they dress. Thus, we will not fall victim to vulgar prejudices. Hazlitt later advises him not to despise anyone at all, because contempt towards anyone means taking pleasure in one's sufferings, and it is like congratulating ourselves because someone else has failed or is in unfortunate condition. So this is his very good answer on it. You can say advice. Then one important point of reconciliation. How reconciliation helped Hazlitt's son develop into a man of good personality, which Hazlitt wants to be, which Hazlitt wants him to be. Hazlitt tells his son that his entry in school is his first visit into the world. Hazlitt is not keeping good health and may not live long. He has committed some mistakes in his life. So he wants to share his experience with his son. He advises him not to repeat his mistakes. Hazlitt's son has many complaints about his school and his fellow students. Hazlitt asks his son to reconcile to the situation. He asks his son to accept and adjust in a friendly way at school. He says that true equality is true wisdom. This is the central idea. True equality is true wisdom. His son should not compare his fellow students with his family. He should understand that he is one of them. He shares the same fate as they. He should not be self-centered. He should share things with his friends. They will also start sharing with their things, and he will feel accepted and loved by them. So, this is the relevant answer, suggestion, advice which Hazlitt writes in his letter. So, friends, I have discussed on important issues related with the lesson. So, just to go through it and ruminate over it. It will help these in writing answers. So, I hope I have covered all the aspects of the lesson. If you have any difficulty regarding this lesson, you can mail me. So, thank you for today. Thank you. Good day.